You could
just
have used
weren't.
the shower. But
it was too far away.
I couldn't be bothered.
And my sedan chair had broken.
Well, actually, the water pressure wasn't great. Anyway, look, I'm not saying,
God. This spiritual journey went about an inch. So you were meant to stay there a week, but you left after 2 days, right? How embarrassing was that when you went to reception? I've reached enlightenment way before I thought I would, and I'm all right now, and I want to go home.
Who's that there? Are you a human being? All I can see is cosmic light everywhere. Anyway, I'm not
You've
staying.
got to pay your bill. Who said that? It's just a voice. Nothing means anything. Here, take my sock. I wiped my bottom on it. I used all the water for my shower. Where did you go after that then? To a posh hotel?
What do you want to ruin it for?
I'm not trying to ruin it. I'm trying to get the truth out of the matter.
I've still not finished being at the ashram.
Okay.
The cuddles themselves have a real pizzazz.
How many cuddles do you get a day?
I got loads.
Well,
I was rushed to the front.
Right.
I got VIP cuddles.
But
there's
you
a
get
whole...
one and then you wait like an hour and get another one, or could you overdose on them?
I had them on tap, which was more than could be said for water, which I had to fire out of a bottom hose. But like, no, I had good access to the cuddles because we were getting on.
What does it feel like when you have them?
Nice. She pulls you right in. She's called Amma. That means mother. And it's almost like she's distilled down. What is it that everyone in the world wants love. Everyone needs love. Just distill it down in a complete non-judgmental way. And like when she started her whole hugging thing as a teenager, everyone down the village thought she was a nutter because she was just wandering up to everyone hugging them.
Oh, right. So it started
down the village.
She didn't, because you just said she thought like as if she planned it. What do people like? They like the word mother. They like cuddles. I know, I'm going to buy my...
Right, look at these pricks here. Every man jack of them, what would they give for a little cuddle? Now, who's going to give the cuddles? Yours truly, I'll be quids in. And at 10 quid a sock, everyone's a winner.
So she started in a village just as a normal little girl. She's
a fisherman's daughter from Kerala, southern India. Once the Swamis heard about this hugging girl, they all went and checked her out. And it turns out... Hold on a minute, these aren't just normal hugs this woman's giving. She's coming from a perspective of divine consciousness.
So they're like spiritual Simon Cowells.
They've gone, you got it, kid.
You got it, kid. Whatever it is, you got it.
And
give
I
us
said
another
to myself, that is a #1 single. They sort of sanctified her, and and they're not like sort of. And I suppose what it is that from there's no angle, there's nothing like that. Look, although obviously we're approaching it comedically, that is our obligation. There's not anywhere you can look where it's like, well, hold on a minute, and she's sniding 100 million quid out of this. Everything just goes in service. Everything she spends all day just hugging people. What's funny though in ashram life is that normal hierarchies do spring up. You know, you do see examples of egotism, pride, self-centeredness, certainly from me.
Is that just you?
I hustle to the cuddle front. I'm not letting go of her. There's a whole infrastructure around the cuddles. You know, like when you're going on a roller coaster, you sort of think that's the end of the roller coaster queue. Then there's another bit of roller coaster queue that's maybe roped off or zigzaggy.
Yeah,
it's like that as you're approaching the cuddle for people that think
the queue brings you right near it. Then
zigzag round in the snakes and ladders, and like you sort of there's all sort of Brahmin, which is sort of like priest people, both male and female, everyone robed up. 10,000 people, aircraft hangar in the middle of India, and they're sort of, as you're approaching, they sort of manhandle you a bit to get you into position for the cuddle, because she's cuddling, like over the course of the day, she'll cuddle 10,000 people. It just goes on all day. So it requires all this infrastructure. So they fluff you
for a cuddle. They sort of line you up.
You get a cuddle fluffed without question. And the other reference that I might like to say, she sits in this armchair, and behind the armchair is like a suite for someone. This round here.
Doesn't stand
There's
up.
All priest behind it. No, she sat. You come right in.
Oh right, I thought she stood up cuddling people.
Now she sat perched on a stage in a chair, all surrounded by the paraphernalia and aesthetics of Hinduism. The thing it was most like, and I'm sorry to use this reference, was the Jumal Fix-It chair. Like, you know, with those, like, where the stuff was in the arms. Yeah. And behind it, there's, like, someone will give you a little bit of, like, you get a little bit of ash, you get a sweet, you get all, like, little... I mean, it's eerily similar. You get a wish granted.
A bit of cigar ash on your head.
Then she utters her sacred mantra. No, actually, as she... So there's, like, all this paraphernalia and infrastructure around the hug itself. When you get in the hug, like, on one, like I went one. I've been twice, man out, and then I went in Ali Pali for one similar thing. Thousand people there, merch up.
So
the back.
you've gone you're a groupie.
Yeah.
You've seen her in New York,
Devotee.
Ali Pali in London,
Yes.
and in Kerala in India, or where it is.
Yeah. I've got a T-shirt.
Do you remember me? Same as before?
Hey, Emma, my boyfriend's in there. A lot of people's boyfriends are in there. Yeah, so like, no, like, and oh my God, I mean, it was actually sort of quite amazing. It's quite amazing. When she pulls you in for the hug, she just murmurs something down your ear hole. I know it's
You twat! I've been watching you in the queue, jumping around like an idiot. Get out!
They might think I'm giving you a cuddle. You're going to walk nice and slow to the back, and then you're going to buy a pair of socks for a monkey, and you're going to get yourself back to London. No, like, so it's a very nice feeling. But I tell you what, like when everyone's asking, do you believe in God? Like, and when you yourself are questioning the existence of God, aren't all of us sort of on some level going, show me a sign, God, show me a sign, show me you're real? You're asking to see some connection between your inner world and outer world. There are moments around Amma where like that I felt total collision and collusion of my inner state and outer state. Like that woman on some level, like them lot, the proper hardcore devotees. I was looking on the New Year's Eve night, I was sat right beside her. Honestly, mate, 10,000 people there. It was like Nuremberg. She's like they're singing all these songs, all bongo drums and everything. The kids put on a play. It weren't very good. But her bit, like, she said all the children just naturally sort of all flock to her. She's sat there and like, she's singing these songs. Now, like our Christmas songs are a bit, Good King Wenceslas, there's no real, away in a manger. Well, their songs that they're doing on New Year's Eve, it's deep. It's like, the nature of reality is fundamentally flawed. We are in a mission of pure consciousness, burn away carnality in the flesh, unify with the essential nature, and all using the names of gods and goddesses. It's like powerful stuff. And then there's bits where you have to go like, Hala! Like that, and everyone throws their hands in the air. Honestly, it was the cross between football, Nuremberg, and like some weird church thing. The vibe got intense on New Year's Eve, real intense. Yeah. And I looked around, like about most of the people were just staring in total devotion at her.
Oh, not you.
No, I was sat to the side on a plastic garden chair thinking, how long can this go on?
No, I believe there's something in it that has she gone clear? Has she gone like,
that's
she's
what
become...
It might be that, because there's a real sort of, bear in mind it's a woman from the south of India. She's got no sort of social advantage. She's daughter of a fisherman. And like, as I say, her whole life is devotional. She's not doing anything else. She's not like, oh, maybe I'll get a TV show. I mean, when you look at any great person's life, even people that are flawed, like the kind of people I've talked about, Messiah Complex, Che Guevara, Gandhi, Malcolm X, the defining thing is, I'm prepared to give my life over to this cause, and if it means dying for it, no problem. Yeah. Like, even if you took it, I've sort of said, even if you took it on the most mundane, secular level, this person has done these unbelievable philanthropic and anthropological things. Not anthropological, just philanthropic, lovely things. And like, and I also said, like, with her achievements, if you found out she'd like nutted a few people off and there'd been people murdered, you'd still go, well, at least she built them hospitals. But the fact that it's all just been done really on sort of cuddling.
Did she ever? Is the cuddle exactly the same for everyone, or sometimes?
No.
Would she hold on a bit longer with someone?
One bloke, he dragged his cuddle out for about 10 minutes by asking questions. I was peeved at him.
Really?
I got
changed your hair? I saw you in Berlin. What sort of questions?
I mean, it's mad. There's like Indian farmers. He was Indian. I don't know what he was saying. Like, because the majority of people there are Indian, but there's loads of Westerners like me. I got special treatment, sat at the side for a long time. And there was an amazing bit where she gave babies their first meal, and all these babies from around the world were brought out. Some of them were wearing makeup. It was crazy. I mean, it was one of the most visually rich and evocative experiences in my life. But it did feel like what you do feel like. In any system, you're going to get hierarchies, and there were bits as well where you could see she was wound up by stuff. Like, she was like, "Oh, this music, you sort it out, sort the audio out." She was saying it.
It's New Year's Eve, guys.
Come on, we're meant to be having fun. This doesn't come round every year. It does every year, but I mean, come on, just but once. You could see. Well, I learned a lot from watching that about leadership and like that. People do have like having like being objectionable or finding the fact that people have got egos and irritating is like finding the fact that people have got toes irritating.
Yeah.
It's just something that people have. It's
human.
An unavoidable attribute of.
I'd prefer to see that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah.
There was one bit at the end you meant to sort of like offer something up. Like a sort of, because I got a mantra off of her.
Oh, did you?
Obviously. And I've been doing it for
How many
ages.
mantras you got in your box now?
I've got a fair few mantras. I've learned loads of. I've learned the Hare Krishna's ones. I've learned her one. Anyway, you meant to give something. The only thing I had was this pair of sunglasses, and I really like these sunglasses. And I was sort of thinking, how much of this spiritual journey has this been that the idea of giving up these sunglasses sickens
You should
me?
have done lock of hair.
Well, give a lock of my own hair.
Yeah.
Because
You wouldn't want these foolish products of the modern age. I shall give you a lock of my own hair.
there. I sort of offered them. She didn't want them anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Would she try them on?
No, she didn't. She weren't remotely interested in the sunglasses. Anyway, I think I learned some things spiritually on that. Now, I'll tell you why I think religion is important, because I think that all of us are trying to navigate and negotiate with the unknown. That's what I think is happening. Science is trying to unravel and question how does the world work? How does the universe work? How does the human soul work? It's come up against a dead end in loads of like what happened before the Big Bang, so how does consciousness come into being?
Yeah.
So many questions remain unanswered. Art tries to provide answers. Poetry tries to provide answers. Mr. G will be summarising the show at the end in his customary fashion, in a nostalgia pang. You here have got one of the great British poets, Philip Larkin.
Oh, yes.
I
love old Larkin.
Why do you love Larkin? Philip Larkin of Coventry. When was he, like, sort of like 60s, 70s, 80s? When he was...
It's 60s, wasn't it? Or I don't know. Let's have a look.
I had a good story about Larkin. My story that I've heard about Larkin was Martin Amis, son of Kingsley Amis. Kingsley Amis and Philip Larkin were great friends, and he saw him at a gathering, the two of them talking. He thought, "Oh, look at these two great men of letters, these great geniuses of the English language, cartographers of the new territories of the soul. What are they talking about?" And he sort of went over, and he was only 7 or 8. When you're at a party when you're a kid, and Philip Larkin was like, "My bloody gas bill's a fortune. I just won't pay." They were just braying on about.
Yeah. It's the same as Amma, isn't it? It's like you're still human.
You're stuck here in this human vessel. So why have you been interested in the poems of Larkin?
Well, at first, right. So obviously, there's his most famous poem, "Obeyed," however you say that, "Obeyed," Aubade, about like the inevitability of death, and it's really powerful and sad and like amazing, but it's so miserable. He's such a miserable.
Look at this I don't interrupt you, but yeah. Gareth, the producer of the show, has just passed out me this scratched out note.
He lived down my street. I saw him every morning. That's a poem.
That's pretty.
Did ya?
You saw Philip Larkin
shout
every
out,
morning?
yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Hull University.
So he was a professor at Hull University. You lived in Hull,
In the library
and you just used to see him shuffling around.
every morning.
Did he? He looked a bit like Eric Morecambe, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Yeah, really like him.
Suspicious.
Very much like. No, he's so depressing and miserable that it becomes funny.
Yeah.
Almost like some of it, you just think, "Oh God, that's really," because obviously, like, they fuck you up, your mum and dad. They don't mean to, that sort of stuff. It's so miserable that it's sort of funny. If you think, like we just did, a natural comedic voice to us, like Alan Bennett, sort of, "Oh dear," sort of sighing voice.
Yeah.
If you start reading it in that voice, they become really funny.
Like how Elephant Man, there's a point where the pathos and pain of his predicament
Tips over into,
"Oh, come on, mate, cheer up." "Oh, thank you," because he's too grateful.
"Come on, mate, eat a peanut."
I'll forget about it in the morning. No, mate, joking. No. Yeah, so like, well, you think that's true?
You can't sustain that mood too long without, like, if I was trying to write this horror thing, this treatment for a horror film. Yes. But yeah, you do sort of go.
Problem?
Well, yeah, if you've got if you see the silly side of things, you can't be serious.
Because it's a genre.
You can do it. Yeah, you've made a commitment. You can't just suddenly go, "Actually, this will work as a comedy film."
I'm not even bloody well scared of ghosts. Go on, tell us.
Right, listen to this. The mower, right? Shall I do it in that voice? So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The mower stalled twice. Kneeling, I found a hedgehog jammed up against the blades, killed. It had been in the long grass. I'd seen it before and even fed it once. Now I'd mauled its unobtrusive world unmendably. Burial was no help. Next morning I got up and it did not. The first day after a death, the new absence is always the same. We should be careful of each other. We should be kind while there's still time. Mother? It just sounds like... But what's funny about it is, it's like, well, first of all, he killed a hedgehog with his lawnmower.
It's clumsy.
It's stupid. How long was the grass?
It'd have to be
Should have cut
10 inches long.
Yeah, to cover a hedgehog.
And also, like, hedgehogs is substantial. It's like, say that's like 2 tennis balls worth of matter to sort of go in that.
Yeah.
I think I'd notice as soon as you nudged it.
And he says,
I think he done it on purpose.
yeah, listen, the mower's stalled.